Hey, thanks for joining us for this episode of This Is How We ROL. And today we get to sit down with Jessica and Jeff Beyers and just hear a little bit of their story of how they came to River of Life, but also how they sowed the seed when we had that challenge at church. So thanks for joining us. Hello and welcome to today's podcast. We're so glad that you chose to join us once again for the This Is How We ROL podcast. And if you've been with us over the last few episodes, you know that this season we're leaning into the idea of sowing a seed and generosity. And so we've really been excited to hear some of the stories about what's taken place as people in our church have leaned into that idea. And today we have a special couple with us, Jeff and Jessica Beyers. And so welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. So these guys have been coming to River for about 2 years.
Yep, a little over.
And they have become a very vital part of our church family. In fact, recently Jessica has joined our team, and she's on staff here. Yes. And so what's that like, being on staff at a church?
Super fun.
Is it?
Yeah,
wow,
I
that's
love
a good
it.
answer.
It's great.
Is that because your boss is sitting here?
Yeah, maybe. No,
Why do I get such a different story at home?
We'll talk later, Jeff. Yep. Let's not put that on the podcast. No, it's really cool to see you guys just like leaning in. And so I before we get to your story about sowing the seed, I thought it might be kind of interesting for people to hear a little bit about how you found River and started coming to River. And so how did that all come about?
Yeah. I'm going to go.
It was Jessica, so she can tell the story.
So we'd been kind of, always throwing around the idea of going to church and things like that. And we were believers, but not necessarily like in any community or anything like that. And then my girls went to church camp. They came home and they're like, we really, really want to go to church. And we had some stuff kind of going on in our lives too. And now looking back, it was completely like just God working in our lives. And so we were like, all right, well, we had kind of been looking at some churches. We're not morning people. So the Saturday night really sounded good. So that caught our eye with River kind of first. And then even before that, when we were kind of thinking about going to church, I worked for Missoula Early Head Start. And so I constantly was hearing about River of Life and just all of the outreach you guys do and things like that. And just stories I would hear about just tangible ways you guys were helping people in the community. And I just thought that was really great. So then we were like, all right, we're going to try 3 churches. That was our thing. We're going to try 3 churches and then we'll figure it out and see which one kind of feels good for us, And so River was our first one. We came on a Saturday night in August. It was family meal. So it was like,
wow, thrown right in.
Yeah, we got thrown right in. And so we stayed and we walked in and we hadn't really been to a church in a really long time. I don't think our girls really ever.
We didn't grow up necessarily in the church. I mean, we had been to church, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah. And so we walk in and I was Shannon at the door and I was like, oh, we're new here. Where do we go or where do the kids go? Because I didn't know about kids' church or anything like that. And then so she told us all that stuff. We sat down and then you came up to us right away and just kind of introduced yourself and everything. And it was like, wow, we're like, everyone is just so friendly here. Like they were just so kind. And then your message, we were in the emoji series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yep. And your message just was really like one of those where we were like, oh my gosh, like, holy cow. And so then we left and then we were literally leaving because it was family meal, but we were like, we're not staying for family meal. That's a lot. And so we were walking towards the car and then you followed us out and we're just like, hey, like just kind of talking to us and getting to know us more and everything. And it was just a really cool experience. We literally got in the car. We're like, well, and the girls were like, we loved it. We're like, all right, we found our church.
Wow. So you didn't even go try anything else?
No, we never tried another church.
No, you asked us, you said, well, are you going to come back again? I was like, yeah, well, we actually kind of talked about it on the way out to the car. And yeah, we were excited to come back. So
that's awesome.
Which is good. Felt really comfortable, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
And just open and welcoming. Like, it was great.
That's very cool. And it's cool that full circle now, you guys are hosts. Mm-hmm. So you're part of that welcoming crew. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Jessica, obviously working here, you've been pretty instrumental in trying to help us figure out what that looks like for other visitors that are coming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty exciting to see too, just the evolution of what that's going to look like as we move forward. Because I think sometimes when you come to church for a while, you lose sight of what it's like to come in as a visitor and not to know. And our building's really weird. Like when you walk in, it's just long and narrow. And, you know, even last weekend, I had somebody come up to me and they're like, is that part of the church down there too? And I was like, yeah, that's the coffee shop, but we're also familiar with it. So, so it's always good to hear, just to like kind of refresh and think about things in a different light when you're so used to it. So Jeff, what do you do?
I work for HVA wholesale distributor in town.
Okay.
I'm a sales manager for Montana and Idaho.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's very cool. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool for people to get to know you guys a little bit, just because I'm sure most people have even seen you and stuff, but just to know who you are and not just the guy that's on stacking chairs when we need more in the back of the room. Or...
Well, and on that with the serving and the outreach that Jessica was talking about, that's really appealed to me. And I'd like to help with hosting and Hands of Hope, but there's so many other people that are serving all the time, and it's really pretty impressive. Honestly, I hardly do anything compared to what a lot of people are doing around here, which is really cool to see, and it's inspiring. And that's one of my favorite things is when you do have the time to be able to, you know.
When you guys first started coming, didn't you kind of help with food bank too a little bit?
We've helped with food bank once. And,
okay.
And then I started doing the Hands of Hope thing.
Oh, that's what it was.
Trying to do it once a month, and I'm just getting going. Like I said, there's so many great people. Jim, there's like 15 Jeffs in this church.
Jeff and Jason's.
Yeah. It's great because you get credit for all the other stuff the other Jeffs did and all the other Jasons too. It works out really good for us. Well, that's really cool. Well, over the last few episodes, we've been talking a little bit about a few months back. Obviously, it's been now that we kind of leaned into this idea of taking some of the excess that the church had at the time that we had been saving, but really felt like God was saying, hey, you need to hold on to that with an open hand and you need to give it away. And so we obviously gave some of that away to other entities that were in need, but then we took some of that and we put it into cash, and we had people in the church just take an envelope with cash in it and then go and figure out a need that they could meet with that. And so I thought you guys' story was pretty unique. So why don't you tell us what you guys did with your money and what that looked like?
Yeah, so with ours, we kind of got together with our girls too. Our daughters, Briley and Bryn, who are 14 and 12. We're like, all right. It was really cool to do it as a family. That was really fun. So we're like, all right, what can we do? We threw some ideas around, and then we kind of fell on just kind of loving on new families. And so our idea was to put the money in a box of diapers. So we went to Target. Bryn made like a little card that was just like, I hope this blesses you and your new child or your new baby. And then like a little Bible verse she put in it too. So then we put it in one of the diapers at Target, like the off-brand kind of cheapest one we could find where we could get it in there, in a pack of newborn diapers. And we're just kind of praying, and then we prayed about it, and we're just hoping that it found a family who could really use that. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's the one we want to hear the other side of that story.
I know. Like
we have no idea.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how Target feels about us stuffing stuff in their diapers, but I guess it's money, so that's a pretty good deal.
It's money, right?
Yeah, that's super cool. And I love that your daughters were involved in it too. And that's been really cool to watch.
That is just been such a gift to watch. Like, even they'll be baptized tonight, and which is just like, oh my gosh, I can't even. It's so amazing, and just the friendships they have here, Hunter and Sierra, how much they pour into these kids. It's just such a blessing. Like, I can't imagine our lives without River. I really can't. Yeah.
It's pretty special with both the girls to see just where they're at, and then think about where I was at, and, Jess was at, and those ages, and then going in. They're such important years, and I was not where they are. They're leaps and bounds ahead of me, and it makes me pretty proud, and a little more comfortable too.
Yeah. Feels a little safer with two teenage girls that they're really excited about going to church.
Yes,
Oh, they love it.
Exactly.
They love to serve. They have such a heart. If you ask Briley, like her favorite part of the summer, it was church camp and doing Feed the Need.
Wow.
That was her out. And she went to Arizona. She went to, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like they love to serve. They love being here. They,
That's so cool.
they belong here, and it's just awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was lots of mornings that I would come into work and your girls were sitting on the couch waiting for Feed the Need to start, just sitting in the coffee shop,
Yep.
half awake, but,
Yep,
but
you know.
waiting for their opportunity to serve. That's pretty amazing. So for you guys, it's really always interesting to me when somebody that hasn't really come from a church background and you guys just made the decision like, hey, and part of that was your girls saying, hey, we should go to church. But then just like, not only did you just decide to start coming to church, but you guys like leaned way in on it. So what advice would you have for people who maybe are in that place where they are coming to church, but they're not, it's maybe just kind of this thing that they do occasionally or just to almost check a box. Do you guys, is there anything you can think that you'd say to somebody like that?
I mean, I'd say, part of it is getting it into your routine is one, and then it's hard to kind of live without it. And then also just kind of get over yourself and understand that you want it. You know that you want to go and you want to be more involved and do good things. I mean, for me, that was one of the biggest reasons I was happy coming to church. I mean, it's turning into more for sure for me, but just to be a better person and to be involved in the community, just do it.
And I'd say get connected. Find your spot here. There's so many great ministries here, whether that's with kids, whether that's, Hands of Hope, Food Bank. That's how you really get to know people, is serving alongside. Yeah. And then I'd also say it's like one of those, it's a non-negotiable. We go to church. That's what we do. On Saturdays, it's not, hey, are we going to church tonight? It's, we go to church. There's no conversation beforehand. Yeah. We know at 5:30, get in the car. We're leaving.
I'm super proud of you guys because there's a lot of people that have been in the church for a lot longer that still don't have that. They still feel like, hey, if we can do it, we'll do it, and if not, and there's so many other things in our life that we treat as non-negotiable. But yet this, like even for your daughters, they're so tied in partially because when they're coming regularly, this is where their main that's how it was with our kids. This was their main relationships were at church. And
Their friends are here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then when they miss, they didn't want to miss. And so, when you can get to that place as adults that even if it was like, yeah, we're not feeling good or something else came up and we're not going, to where your kids are disappointed that you're not going to church.
Yeah. No, they would be we're going.
It's a good reset too for the week, and you always, not to pump you up too much right here on camera, but you always give.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
Okay, right. You always, I really always like your messages. Thanks. I'm keeping it. We always.
I don't think I'm getting that back.
we always do like your message.
There's some more in there.
You're always just real with the word. You don't mince words. And I appreciate that. And something always hits home. So it's always a good reset for yourself because, the week can get to you. I know it gets to me. I'm on the road a lot and just kind of get beat down a little bit. And it's just nice to have a nice little reset and a check on yourself. Like, how did I act that week? Was it, like I said, I always just first came to just kind of be a better person. Was I a good person? Or, is this where you want to be when Jesus come back? You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
That's a big question.
Yeah.
You ask yourself that enough and it'll keep you in line, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. Well, it's been such an honor to have you guys be part of the church, and we're so excited about what God's doing, and thanks for lending us your wife. She does a phenomenal job throughout the week.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, she's amazing. You guys for sure got lucky with her.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing too, because when we put that job out there, my wife was the one that was like, I think Jessica would do really good at that. We didn't know if you were looking for another job.
Yep.
And
I was.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was just too scared to apply by myself.
Yeah. And you had already sent her the thing, right?
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook, and I immediately sent it to her.
Like, that is like literally my dream job, but I was just so scared.
Well, give it a year. We'll see if it's still your dream
It
job.
is. I love it. I love it. It keeps me busy.
Yes, we do keep you busy for sure. It's one of those jobs where we tell you this is what it is, and then you have to morph into all the other things that you.
But it's good for me. It's really, my word for this year was surrender, and that's what I've done. And for the Lord to utilize me, and I feel like I'm being very well utilized.
Yes,
great.
for sure. Well, that's very cool. Well, any other thoughts you guys have on any of this?
No.
No?
I don't think so. You're good.
He just wants the money back. Well, this is really cool. So thank you guys for taking your time to come out and hang out with us a little bit and just share your story. And we just can't wait to hear one day what happened with that money that you put in the. That was a very unique idea. I think that's cool. So maybe someone will end up listening to this and they'll realize that's where the money came from. Who knows?
Yeah.
So anyhow, well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening and participating with us. Continue to check back every week. There's new episodes. This season, I think, is going to be 8 to 10 episodes. And so we're going to keep pumping them out for a little bit. And then, and so as much as you can watch, it's very helpful as we move forward. So thank you again. We'll see you next week.